everybody. My name is Charlotte Von Rains.
My name is Rachel Felstein.
And we are going to be participating in Entertainment Network Live's one-on-one interview series. So we get to interview an artist of our choosing. I'm going to interview the illustrious, lovely, and talented Rachel Felstein.
And I'll be interviewing Charlotte Von Rains. Oh my God.
All right, Rachel, you ready?
I'm very ready. Yes.
Okay. Question number one. What project in the last couple years has been fulfilling for you as an artist?
Well, thank you for asking. I mean, the last couple years, what's been going on? I mean, doesn't seem like any big news items have been crossing our paths.
Yeah, I really don't think much has been happening.
Yeah. Crazy times, but I've been super lucky to have been afforded the opportunities to make my own work in various ways over the past couple of years. And while we've been, somewhat shut down as theater artists, primarily both. And I would say that my most fulfilling project was this production of Twelfth Night, or What You Will, by William Shakespeare, that my buddy Anna Di and my other buddy Seamus Miller put together. I am based right now in Washington, D.C., and we did it in the Memorial Park at the D.C. War Memorial, which is dedicated to the soldiers who fought in World War I. And it's this beautiful domed gazebo type structure. It's pretty small, but it really has a lovely quality for classical work with its, or I don't know, are they ionic columns? Who knows? I forget that. I forget that in art history class. But it was really wonderful. I served as producer, designer, and I acted in the play as Malvolio. I also played in the band. So I really had my hands in almost every aspect of the show. And it was such a labor of love. Everyone really brought their full hearts to their work. And it was so gratifying to be able to bring live performance to audiences. The audiences were so generous. It was just a really wonderful experience. And it was really heartwarming, really.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I love that.
So now, Charlotte.
Yes.
Spotlight's on you now. What was the first piece of art that you saw as a child that made you want to perform?
I'm going to be perfectly honest. The one that really got me was Cats. Yeah. I come from a performing arts background, and so I saw my first Broadway show when I was 2 years old. It was Joseph and the Amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat, and it wasn't really on my radar to perform. I just listened to the cassette tape a lot, and the same thing happened with Les Mis too. I didn't see Les Mis until I was older, but I had the cassette tape and knew it existed. But when I was 6. And I forget who brought me to see Cats first, because I saw the show 3 times. But I just remember the first time that I saw it, it changed me as a human. It changed me so much. And I was like, what is that? I want to do that.
I want to be a cat.
I want to be a cat. I want to go to the Jellicle Ball.
Who doesn't? You'd have to be crazy not to.
I know. Seriously. People. So, yes.
What's funny, and I digress ever so slightly, but when I was 3 years old, my parents took me to see Cats because I also come from a performing family, and one of their friends was a cast member. So we went to see the show, and my dad has had a working relationship with Betty Buckley, who invited me onto the stage as a little 3-year-old, held me on her lap and sang Memory to me. And I also was unfortunately bitten by some kind of a bug. If I hadn't been already, it was solidified when I had my own personal serenade of Memory sung to me as a 3-year-old.
On the stage.
By Betty Buckley.
By Betty Buckley.
the woman, the myth, the legend.
That's outrageous.
So we both had a cat.
We connect. Yeah. I'm delighted.
Isn't that so funny?
I'm so happy. Cats bringing people together.
Yeah. For my birthday.
But Rachel.
I'm sorry. I would talk about it, unfortunately. Yeah.
What are you looking forward to next in your artistic path?
Well, I'm excited to say that my producing team from 12th Night and I are putting together some more work. So this one I won't be performing in, but I'm producing a production of Richard II for the spring.
Which you don't see too often.
You surely don't. Yeah. And that's probably the thinking behind it. Trying to sort of uncover this lesser known gem. And it's amazing looking at it. The language in this play is remarkable. It's so beautiful. And there are some really famous passages that you don't know are from that play. It's a really interesting play. And we're really focusing on sort of how the theme of the divine right of kings would have been so important to Shakespeare's audiences. It's not something that contemporary audiences necessarily understand in the same way. So we're really trying to figure out how to highlight that theme. And Seamus and another wonderful artist, local artist here, M. Whitworth, are putting together a character that is going to physicalize that theme. So I'm really excited. It's going to be kind of abstract. Our Richard's being played by a woman, which is a lovely shift as well. And we'll see how that affects the story. So we're in the beginning stages of planning that and getting our cast lined up. So that's very exciting. I have another project I'm excited about, but I can't talk about it yet.
Yeah. Oh, that's great. Yes.
All right. Now, Miss Charlotte,
yes.
If you could be in a show tomorrow, which show and why?
I'm so ready to play Maureen in Rent. It's frightening.
I love it.
I'm so ready. I've been working on my voice lessons and everything during this pandemic. I had a huge breakthrough when I decided to submit to the Lottie Lania competition just to see if I could. And one of the big things I took away from that was like a breakthrough technically with just support and connection to my sound and everything like that. And I also just am at a point in being really comfortable with who I am as a performer and feeling like I know what I can bring. And I feel like I really have the tools and the balls to go to play Maureen right now. And I'm terrified of aging out of her. Luckily, I look younger than I am, so I have some time. But gosh darn it, I want to play Maureen.
That's I hear you. You're putting it out. It's great. That's great. That's so great. I'm always so shy about that. So I asked you that question partly as kind of a sort of like, we should all be more,
we should manifest. Yeah. Putting it out. I love that.
Put it out into the universe.
That's really cool.
Yeah. I'm
so into that. You know what else I'm into? I think you have a pretty great cat, Rachel.
You're my best friend. My best friend, my cat.
Yeah. I'm kind of obsessed with your cat, and I want to know exactly what the 3 best things are about your cat.
Well, first off, she is the best cat in the world, and it's just a fact. It's not like it's not subjective. She's clearly the best cat that's ever lived.
Many things in this world are subjective. This is not one of them.
No, this is not one of them. This is a fact. No, but I love animals, and I feel so privileged that I get to hang out with an animal all day. Seriously, I know I'm such a dork for animals. Anyone that has been around me when a cute dog passes by knows it's embarrassing, but I go with it because what can we do? Fly your freak flag.
Yes.
Okay, so 3 best things about my cat. Okay, she's very soft and squishy. That's one thing. very squishy.
The squish.
Very squishy. Yeah, she's got more to love, and I love to love it. 2, she's very snuggly. She, especially during, I like to call it snuggle season, which is fall to spring. Basically, if it's 50 degrees or less outside, this cat is on me. As you can see right now.
Oh!
There she is. That's my cat.
She's a star.
She's so cute. She's a real sweet girl. And she loves love. So, you know, she wakes me up with kisses. And she sleeps under the blanket in my bed with me. She lets me spoon her. She's like really, really sweet. And I think my third favorite thing about her is that she is so, I'm actually changing my answer right now in the moment because I just need the world to know.
Do it.
When I got her, I adopted her from a kitten. And the woman that was fostering her and her brothers warned me that she was very antisocial, that she was very shy. And I was like, that's okay, because the other cats in this litter were very outgoing and very playful and friendly. And, you know, they were getting snatched up quickly because they were, you know, friendly cats. She wasn't very friendly, but she really loved to snuggle. She loved to be held. And I was just like, oh, so she's scared. And what I really love about her is that I've had her for 14 years.
That's awesome. Oh.
And she is friendlier now. She is friendlier every day. Every day she's friendlier than she was the day before. And she just shows me every single day that love and a feeling of being safe and trust makes anybody, whether you're a freaking stupid little cat or a person or whatever, it makes anybody a better version of themselves. And I love her so much. She's so special. Isn't that nice?
That's so nice.
Yeah, it's really nice. It's really nice. You're the best.
I'm so inspired.
She's wonderful. I really love this cat. Okay, now I'll stop talking about her now. I have to force myself to. It's so embarrassing. Okay, anyway. So I wanted to ask you, what is your favorite location that you've ever worked or even seen a piece of art that really impacted you?
Yeah. I picked location where I saw something. I really love ART in Boston.
Ooh, lovely.
Yeah, I think the work that they do there and the way that they use the space and everything is it's so fascinating. And I've only in person seen one show, and it wasn't even like a play or a musical or anything. It was when I was in high school, and my favorite band, at the time I was obsessed with the Dresden Dolls. They've had a huge impact on my life, and they were doing this kind of weird theater piece called The Onion Cellar at ART. Ooh. And I went, and it was, you know, this kind of cabaret-esque,
I love that,
like, piece. It was very fringy. And I was just completely entranced by the space and the vibe and everything.
I love that.
Yeah, I love ART. Awesome. That I would consider moving to Boston for ART. I would.
Very cool. Very cool. Boston, not my favorite town, but everything closes so early in Boston.
That's true. That's really true.
It's not for me. I'm as a Nighthawk, not for me.
Yeah. Oh, no. Yeah, you need that for sure. Okay, if you could collaborate with anyone, dead or alive, who would it be and why? And collaborate, it doesn't have to be act, it could be like music, like it could be anything.
Yeah. So this is a really tough question for me because the list is so long.
Yeah.
And I've narrowed it down a lot. You know, when I was thinking about who I'd want to act with, I was thinking about some of my favorite actors. You know, I love Fiona Shaw. It's one of my favorite actors.
Yeah.
I love Denzel Washington, who has like the best reputation to act with as well. People just talk about how amazing he is to act with. And he's a wonderful director as well. I have this thing. I'm a huge fan of Jason Bateman. So I'm a huge fan of Jason Bateman. I love Ozark. Yeah. I love his like serious acting work. I love that he grew up in the industry. He was a child actor and he's just been working forever and ever. I love his attitude about work. I think he's a really super talented director and producer. I'm crazy for him. I did a masterclass with Laura Linney once, and I need more. I need more of it in my life. Cool. That's so like in a real way, I was sort of like, okay, Jason Bateman, because I want to be on Ozark, even though it's wrapped. But then I was like, nah, girl, you gotta go further back. And I realized, I think that if I could collaborate with any artist, dead or alive, this is a little bit of a weird answer, maybe.
That's okay.
I think I would want to act in an Alfred Hitchcock film.
Cool. I don't think that's weird.
I love Hitchcock so much. And, you know, so much of the acting in those movies is really dated, but I have heard so many interesting stories about the way he worked with actors. And I find his artistry and his mind so incredibly fascinating. Stanley Kubrick was a close second. But the sort of like abusive undertones kind of pushed me toward the Hitchcock thing. Also a little borderline in some cases, but still. Yeah. Horror is my heart. It's my favorite genre.
Yeah.
And I would just love to be in a one of those classic.
I would love to see you in a Hitchcock movie. Oh my God.
Doesn't that kind of like ring a bell?
Yeah, it absolutely does. It's so cool.
I think maybe that's for me. Yeah. So anyway, yeah, that's my answer. Yes. Okay, and final question, Charlotte. What is your favorite thing? That's great. Hold that. Okay, no, yeah, it's beautiful. Okay, what is your favorite thing about being on stage?
Oh, okay. My favorite thing about being on stage is when I am on stage, it's the closest I think I've ever felt to being free. Mm. If I were to give the answer to like a very religious person, I would say it's the closest I've ever felt to God. Mm-hmm. For there. But for me, it's like I feel the most aligned and the most just kind of connected above, below, and like everywhere. Just completely aligned with who I am. With no one to tell me otherwise.
That's great.
Yeah. My final question is, what's your favorite dessert? It's like totally like something deep.
That's perfect.
Yeah.
My favorite dessert, I'm actually much more of a savory type person. But I can't say no to a warm chocolate chip cookie. And the reason is that when I was little, we would make chocolate chip cookies all the time. My mom and I would make them, and I would make them after school for myself. I did not always have the best time in school. And I would come home before my parents were home from work, and I would make like break and bake chocolate chip cookies for myself. Mm-hmm. And then I would watch Wishbone.
Yes.
And Reading Rainbow with my dog and my cat. And I would just like lie there in the dark and eat my chocolate chip cookies and be like, everything is awesome.
Yeah.
But the chocolate chip cookie thing, it started when I was really little, and my mom and I would make them. She would trade some of the sugar out for applesauce to make them a little less, garbagey for my baby body.
Mhm.
And my dad is obsessed with them. So it became this game of like that he would eat more than his fair share. And we would like get into like a fake fight about like, oh, that like he ate
Cute.
all the cookies and like, like kind of created this
Yeah.
interesting like sort of power struggle even when I was little that that I just like remember very fondly. And so nowadays if there's like chocolate chip cookies and they look good, I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna have 12.
Have you ever had insomnia cookies?
I do like insomnia cookies. I went through a phase in college where Levan Bakery cookies
Oh, yes.
were like a bi-weekly occurrence. It was again related to like school stress. And I would go and I'd get my coffee and my like, marathon runner cookie. And I would just be like, this is before I take my nap. So good. So good. Anyway, that's my favorite dessert, chocolate chip cookies.
That's great.
Yeah.
That's a great way to end. Now I'm going to eat a chocolate chip cookie when we.
I wish.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Do you have some? Send me
No.
one.
But maybe I'll buy one on my way to work.
Yeah. Well, Charlotte, this is so fun. Thank you so much. And thank you to One-on-One, the One-on-One series. Yeah.
Entertainment Network Live.
Network Live.
Thank you for this opportunity to interview my friend.
Yeah. Now we know each other a little better.
Yeah. All right. Thanks so much, Rachel.
Mwah.
Yay.